We just people from the north side. Once the Timmy's hit the shore fine. Winter ready on the full ties. Heavy traffic during 4-5. Gotta hustle on your own time. Color people every port side. We just people from the north side. Once the Timmy's hit the shore fine. Winter ready on the full ties. Heavy traffic during 4-5.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's your host, your boy, George Mackay, back here in the Straight Talk Studios. And man, do I got a good one. It's May, and we are coming up upon the first show for Northern Corwn. If you want to talk the first show for Northern Corwn, you can't hand it anybody but the man behind Northern Corwn, or one of the men behind Northern Corwn.
One of the men.
One of the men. I have none other than the man behind the lens at many indie shows that you've seen, plus at Impact recently at the tapings, the one, the only, shooting the indie zone, Geoffery Cole. How are you, sir?
Good, man. Doing great. Excited for the show coming up. It's been a lot of work. It's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot going on that day. So everyone that's coming out to support us, we're really, really thankful and excited. There's literally a couple great shows going on, Impacts in town. So there's been a couple hurdles, but at the end of the day, we're just powering through it. And I wouldn't be able to do it without my fantastic partners, Shane Saber and Loden. You know, those two guys, I literally wouldn't do this if I didn't have their support. And it's not even their support, because this is all of our baby. It's not, more mine than any of theirs. And everyone brings a lot to the table, and we kind of have a really cool trifecta going on, and it's exciting. It's honestly, like, even with the three of us, it's exhausting, and I wouldn't be able to imagine what it would be like trying to do it on your own, or even just with two people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool. It's cool. Me and Saber have a really great friendship that we've had for a few years now, and it just seems easy working with him. And Loden is just beyond talented with everything he does. He makes a lot of entrance music for a bunch of the Ontario indie wrestlers, graphic design, video. He does everything on the production side that the one common thing we hear from every single person that looks at what we're doing, they go, man, your guys, like, social media is your marketing, the production is just so on point. It's so, like, it's just, it's great, blah, 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 blah. And we honestly wouldn't be able to do any of that without Loden. He's been absolutely killing it. He's on tour right now doing video with Silverstein as well. So, like, being able to do all that plus, fill in the gaps that we need him to fill in. It's just, the guy's worth his weight in gold. Absolutely. So yeah, that's us, Northern Corwn. Woo!
All right, well, that's it. The interview's over. No, let's
See you
talk
later, guys.
Seriously, let's talk about the origins of Northern Corwn. I mean, when you're coming up with a promotion, you're coming up with an idea, you got to come up with a name that grabs people's attention, a logo that grabs people's attention. So when the three of you were kind of sitting down and everything was starting to roll, how did you settle on Northern Corwn, or what does the name represent for you guys?
It actually comes from, about a year ago, even more than a year ago. We're talking like maybe a year and a half. I came up with a concept to create my own wrestling title and have it defended in the Indies, Ontario Indies, wherever it would go. And I put my logo on it, and I hate that I put my logo on it. It was something I didn't want to do, but the belt maker, who's super talented in his own right, thought it would be a cool idea to put the logo on it. So I did it, and it turned out great. The belt's phenomenal. But I was throwing it at Saber, like, hey, man, I'm thinking of this belt. What do you think? And he was just, like, totally on board. We came up with a bunch of different ideas around it, and we both landed on Northern Corwn. So, like, from even before this was a promotion, me and Saber were working on, like, a little project. And, we had a couple ideas how we were going to introduce the belt and what we wanted to do from there. And it just never happened. I was kind of a bit protective about it. Like, I have a bit of a standard with my photography. I don't release photos of a match, regardless of how cool the moment might be or the move might be. But if, like, it's a little bit out of focus, or it just isn't, like, up to my standard, I don't release it. And for the belt, we couldn't really come up with the right way to get it out there for it to make sense for, how I wanted it to work. I wanted it to be defended on multiple different promotions. We had talked to a bunch, and they were totally on board for it as well. And then it just snowballed into a promotion. Most people know I used to help run Destiny with Iceman. Saber was there with me as well. We got to a point where we were finally like, you know what, let's run a show. Are we going to start a promotion? I don't want to start a promotion. I am, into my late 30s. I have a 3-year-old kid. I'm transitioning full-time jobs from one thing to photography. So I'm starting up my own business in that sense. I don't want to start up a promotion. Let's just run one show. That was the idea. We have this belt. We're going to just bank it off the belt because we might be able to just kind of snowball that into something. One thing led to another. We talked to Loden about it. He was pumped. He said, I want on board. We didn't bring him in. It literally was 3 guys all with this common, idea, this concept of one show one. That's where show one came from. And we just took the Northern Crown name and pushed it forward. Josh Alexander gave me a little bit of a nudge to confirm that this is probably something that I should do. And, here we are. Now we have Northern Crown, show one. Are we a promotion? Are we a show? Yes. The whole concept was, Saber, Loden, I want to do this, but I don't know what my long-term commitment is. And let's run one show and see how that goes. We might not ever run another show. That's kind of where we're at. Do we enjoy what we're doing? Absolutely. We're so excited. We're so pumped, but we want to see how excited and how pumped everyone else is. It's not something that we can do and draw, 50 people to every single time. We want to make sure that, it's the same as like my work that I'm very proud of. It's, quality over quantity. We want to make sure that all of our shows can live up to the hype of what we're building. And hopefully this one does. And if everything goes really, really well and everything's successful, we hope to run again. We do, but we're going to sit down after show one and see what we loved, what we hated, what people loved, what they hated, and are we going to do this again? I think we probably will, for the most part, but to what capacity, we're not too sure yet. But we're excited. We just want to focus on show one and do the best we can on that, and then go from there.
Absolutely. Listen, show one, I was pumped because I was like, oh, perfect. It's on the wife's birthday weekend. We both like wrestling. Right. I'm going to message Jeff right away and be like, Jeff, I need 2 front row tickets, please. And make sure you give us good seats because it's a birthday.
That's it. And you were the first one to buy tickets, actually. So boom.
There you go. That's a title I'm honored to have because I'm a big, me, the Ontario Indies has been everything for me. I've had so many conversations, and actually I don't know if I've ever said this to you in person, but I have to say it now. If it wasn't for your interview with us, sitting down with us, we wouldn't have got Lionel Knight. We wouldn't have got Holden Albright. We wouldn't have got some of the guys that you helped us get and open the door. And Straight Talk is forever grateful for that because you opened the door that helped kind of steamroll to where we are now. I mean, going on 300 plus conversations, I could never have imagined that I would have had as many of that. Like I never would have thought I never thought I'd pass 50, let alone closing over 300 now. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So I owe a lot to Shooting the Indies for that. Well, thank you.
Nah, you don't know. You don't know shit to me. Fuck that Shooting the Indies guy.
Fuck that guy. No, you know what? It's always weird because you and I have a great rapport, but just sometimes I feel like, I don't know, he looks pissed off. I'm going to stay away. And I know it's just social. It's social. It's got to be. I have social anxiety too. A lot of people think I'm a social butterfly. I get social anxiety. I'm like, I don't know if I want to be in a room filled with 600, it's like 300 smelly strangers. I don't like it.
I get it, man. I totally get it. I've been told that sometimes I am hard to approach. You see me from afar and I look like I'm having a good time, and then out of nowhere I can flip the switch and I'm a miserable person. I love what I do. I love being around people. I love it when people come up and talk to me. But yeah, like I think I can be a little bit hard to approach every now and then. I'm fucking old and miserable, man.
We're about the same age, aren't we?
Fuck that Shooting the Indies guy.
Yeah, fuck that.
No, I want someone to wear. Can you, when you show up to Northern Crown, can you be wearing a T-shirt that says "Fuck that Shooting the Indies guy"?
I absolutely will. Listen, I've had the honor of being photographed by Shooting the Indies at a couple of promotions that I work for, which is super cool. And it was funny because the first time I did it, I made like 17 different faces at once, and you were like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. What should I do? You're like, what's your pose? I'm like, I don't have a pose. I'm a commentator. Think of a pose. So I thought of a pose. Boom. And it was good. It's fun to get that kind of background stuff and to kind of have the doors open for everything like that. And I was stoked when I saw Northern Crown, and then the way you guys were dropping the hints. Ricky Shane Page is part of the Crown. Alexia Nicole is part of the Crown. Von Vertigo, Tarek is part of the Crown. And it just started building. Then you dropped Rocky Romero. Then you dropped Calvin Tankman. Don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Romero fan, but I am so over on Tankman, especially being a fan of MLW. I can't wait to see what that main event's going to look like.
We're really excited about Tankman. Obviously, Rocky was a huge deal for us. The guy's a vet; he's a legend. Be able to bring someone of that caliber on our first show, I hope goes to show that we're not just putting on a show to put on a show. We really want to make sure that the wrestling is top notch. But man, when we dropped that Calvin Tankman, the social media like outreach we got on that was insane. It was like double, triple of everything else. Not saying that everyone else flopped, but like I'm not surprised because even before Northern Crown was a thing and me and Saber would fantasy book shows, Tankman was always on the top of our list. It was always like, man, Canada needs to see some Tankman. Canada needs to see, and the second we dropped that, I forget where I was. I think I was at a show or something, and I was like, oh shit, I got to post this, blah, blah, blah. So I posted it, and it just, man, for days, like it just kept on going and going, and everyone was so excited. So we're really excited for that. We're excited for our main event. Obviously we're going to be putting Rocky in the main event, and we're going to probably be announcing in the next couple of days who he's going to be taking on. We're excited. Obviously, that one of the things that we looked at every time we put this card together, and it changed a couple times, was like all the wrestling has to be top tier wrestling. We don't want to look at the card and be like, oh, that match is going to be the worst match on the card. Not saying that the wrestlers were booking, but like every match had to be a show stealing match. And I think we did really well based on what our card looks like right now. Obviously, card subject to change. We haven't announced any matches yet. We will, obviously. But yeah, like we really wanted to make sure that every single match just hits hard and just bangs. So, what we got for the main event, I'm super excited for. I am.
And you're not going to give me any tidbits, eh? Nothing.
Who would your fantasy book be on it? It's obviously Rocky is the main event. We're obviously bringing him into the main event.
I mean, with everyone that you got on the card, and I don't know if you've announced the entire roster, but I'm not going to lie, I would love to see I would love to see Ramero mix it up with Ricky Shane Page. I don't know, that just feels like it would hit different, man. I feel like that would hit different on a fucking another level, because a lot of people underestimate Ricky Shane Page's in-ring ability. They always think of
100%, man. 100% people underestimate him. I remember shooting him at Alpha One a long time ago, and he was like chaining or something, and the fans yelled something, and he responded with like something along the lines of like, I know how to wrestle too. I'm not just a deathmatch guy. It was absolutely phenomenal. Ricky's wicked. That's not going to be the main event. You're way off.
Damn.
Yeah, it was just so far off. I keep on getting notifications that my wife's sending me TikToks right now, and it's absolutely driving me mental.
Let's flip the gears for a second. Let's talk about being a girl dad. I'm a girl dad. I got 2 beautiful daughters. You yourself have a 3-year-old little girl. What's life like for Geoffery Cole as a girl dad? First time dad, now also girl dad. What's that like for you?
It's great, man. I love it. She's wicked. She's at a point where she's really coming into her own. She was basically a COVID baby, born 2 weeks before the first lockdown, so she didn't get to spend a lot of time with kids. Now she's in full-time daycare with 16 other kids, and she's just blossoming, and I love it. I'm looking forward to, now that I am dropped one of the full-time office jobs and I'm now a full-time photographer, to be able to spend a lot more time with her. It's hard when you're trying to do 2 jobs and you're out in Cornwall on a Saturday for a full day for a wrestling show, or Coburg or Hamilton or Brantford or London, and you're missing a lot of the weekend stuff. So I'm excited about that. I am.
Absolutely.
Let's talk Northern Crown.
Absolutely. Okay, back to Northern Crown. Enough of the family
that
stuff.
Kid sucks. She's shit. Let's talk Northern Crown.
I'm not going to get that short, mate, but I will get.
Nobody wants to hear about my fucking life. They want to hear about Northern Crown.
So listen,
if Saber knew that I was sitting here talking about my daughter, he'd be like, fucking promote the show, you idiot. But I do appreciate it.
You said I was way off. Have you announced are there more announcements for roster members, or have we seen the full roster at this point?
think we have 3 more people we haven't announced yet.
And is one of them in the main event?
No, we announced everyone. I have no problem saying it. We're doing Rocky versus Fuerza, obviously, and they're gonna fucking bang.
They are.
Like, Fuerza is top notch.
I was gonna say my next choices were gonna be Fuerza, obviously, because I'm a Fuerza Mark. You know he's my best friend, right? You've seen the pictures. Everyone knows.
Yeah, obviously.
But I was either gonna say it was either gonna be I like Ricochet Page. Obviously, Fuerza is in my top 3, but I also was gonna say Tarek. Figured Tarek and Rocky would bang as well, man.
Absolutely. I think there's anybody we could put on this that we're putting on the show that could go. We didn't do an official announcement, but he's on our show poster, Blackwood. He could go hard with him. We got, I think there might be actually a couple of people that we haven't announced officially that are going to be on the show. But yeah, like there's tons of people. Alexia would kill it with Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
My Alexa just triggered. Sorry.
No problem.
Okay.
That's amazing.
But yeah, Tarek could go with Rocky, but we honestly think Fuerza, his style, his charisma, how hard he's been going, he's been training the kids here in Ontario. I don't know there's many people that like deserve it as much as he does. I'm really excited to see him fucking bang with Rocky. It's gonna be nuts.
It's absolutely going to be a killer main event. And
yeah,
wow, that's huge. That's incredible. That's great breaking news. Now,
yeah.
what I got to ask this from your perspective, because I've never really talked to a booker about planning a match card. So this is an interesting question for me. When you're looking at the match card and you know the talent pool that you have to work with, when you're sitting there and you're moving pieces and you're driving, you're seeing what flows, what doesn't flow. When you look at the roster that you have, nobody can have a bad match on that I personally think. And that's my honest opinion, because I know so many of that talent so well. When you're looking at that matches, you're seeing the things that you can put together and you're like, holy fuck, like everything could have the potential to be a show stealer from the first match to the main card. How do you flow that storyline? Because every match card in its own right is a story. It's an episodic adventure. So how do you flow that story just to make sure that people can't catch their breath?
I think one of the benefits we have is we don't have any storylines.
Mm-hmm.
This is our first show. If we decide to run again, it'll probably be like a little bit down the road. We're not looking to do a monthly thing, a month and a half thing. We want it to be a special occasion. So if we did run again, we might run 3 times a year. We might run 4 times a year. We might run once a year. We don't know. Being able to book a show around no storylines, I think, is really, really different. You're not, handcuffed to certain things. And we pulled a lot of our talent before we started fantasy booking them. We said like that he is really, really good. We want to book him. He is really, really good. We want to book him. And then we started piecing everything together. Our original match with RSP has been changed. What we originally wanted with him. So we don't have an opponent for him right now, and we are just going to kind of see what happens. And I don't think there's anybody on the show that we would take out of their spot to put with RSP just to put him with RSP. We want to, look at what is best for Ricky and like who would, pair well with him and put on, a Northern Crown match. I mean, fuck that means we never had a Northern Crown match. But yeah, I think it's just different. Like at first we just pulled all the guys and then we decided this would be good, this would be good, this would be good, this would be good. And maybe we're wrong. Who knows? Maybe every match is going to shit the bed, and me and Saber have no clue. A big part of it is like Saber's been doing this for a long time, and as much as his in-ring skill is amazing, the guy's got a great mind for business, and it's a little bit of his baby with the booking. He calls the show GG Pro, obviously, because every time he comes up with an idea, he says, "What do you think of this?" And then I just hit him with a fucking hard no. And he goes, "Oh, I didn't know this was GG Pro." No. But, the majority of the stuff that we've come up with is a lot of like his baby. And it's we just feed off of each other really well. But yeah, I think I think we're just trying to pull off 6 matches. We might do 7. Might have some surprises. We do have a surprise. We have some surprises that we're really, really excited about. We got some guys from the States that are coming in that we haven't announced yet. someone that might be on your wall behind you somewhere. I'm trying to see.
Oh, there's a lot of options of someone who's
There's
behind.
a lot of options.
I got quite a few.
Is that the Miz?
Yes, I have the Miz there. I'm a Miz Mark hard. I'm a hard Miz
Okay,
Mark.
it's not the Miz. We're not bringing
That's not the I figured that.
But yeah, no. So it's a hard way to like explain that, like, we're not handcuffed. So being able to book this show, I feel like might be different than most people promoting a show. We're looking to just put on banger matches, top to bottom. You know, we don't need the filler spots. We don't want the like, you know, this to do that, this to do that. We're here to just put on, you know, 3 matches before intermission that are going to bang hard, and 3 matches after intermission that's going to bang hard. So I think we nailed it. We'll see.
I honestly believe that too. And you know what the cool thing is I love that I love promotions working together. I love promotions kind of helping each other out. And the cool thing is a lot of people may or may not know is Death Proof is running the same day. And I know
Death
you
Proof
guys
is on the
actually
same day.
bumped your show up so that people could make both shows if they wanted to.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
incredible. That's something that a lot of people need to hear more of is that the indies are there for each other. The indies are there to work together and to make the scene better. It's all about the scene and how great everything is over here, the talent pool, everything we have. But working with other promoters like that, that's a big deal. And that's a tip of the hat to both promotions coming together and saying, listen, we can balance this. We just have to figure it out. And that's what you guys did. You figured it out.
Yeah, when we announced our show right away, like obviously I shoot for New Frontier, and Jesse Amato hit me up with some dates, and he said May 27th we're doing the Death Proof show. And I said, unfortunately, you know, me and Saber picked this date like I think back in November or something, like a really really long time ago. We had chose this date, and I was like, hey man, we haven't announced anything, but I'll let you know I'm running a show, and this is what's happening. And he's like, cool man, not a problem. Like, good luck. And he's like, if there's anything I can do to help, let me know. And the moment we like tweeted or posted our first social media post, he retweeted it, he reposted it from like the Death Proof New Frontier, and said like, if Death Proof Wrestling isn't for you, check this out. This show is gonna be good. So we really appreciate the support from a lot of the Ontario promotions. You know, Pro Wrestling Ontario we're all friends with them there, and they've been nothing but really supportive. Everybody has. Barry, you know, has been great. They're letting us fly our Oshawa. Even out in Cornwall, Alan with Seaway Valley, he said, if there's ever anything you need, let me know, and I will help you out in any way. From the beginning of this, we've been in great communication with C4, and have been kind of, they're running the night before us. So we were kind of like trying to figure things out together so that we can either get a lot of people booked or, you know, a little bit of a break on trans. So we have some people that are going to be on their show as well that are coming into our show. And I don't know if I'm supposed to announce this or anything yet. As long as Blackwood still has the C4 title come May 27th, I'm pretty sure he's going to be defending the C4 title on Northern Crown. So we're really excited about that.
Hell yeah.
C4's been really, really supportive of everything. And that's one of the things that Northern Crown wanted to do. Like when I came up with this belt concept, I wanted to defend it on multiple shows. So, you know, why not have other belts defended on our show? Like, I'm totally down for that. We tried to work out another one and it didn't quite work out. Hopefully for another show. But even like if Barry ever wants a belt on our show, or like Pro Wrestling Ontario or anything like that, we're 100% supportive of that. We just want good wrestling and a lot of eyes on the scene.
Absolutely. And you will. Like I said, I was honored to be, I didn't know I was the first person to buy tickets, but I was stoked for it. And I can't wait for the hoodie. Can't wait for everything. And now I gotta
yeah,
go.
The merch, man.
Yeah, the merch is sick. I love the logo. I'm a big fan of that old English writing. And when you guys threw it down, I was like, oh, that's sexy. I was like, I never thought I'd say Geoffery Cole and sexy in the same sentence, but it's sexy. It is sexy. The logo, not you. Yeah, you're adorable. You have adorable features. I'll give you that. You got adorable.
I think like when Loden was coming up with a bunch of the stuff, we were trying to do hats, but it's just like to be able to get everything done with like such short timing, and hats are expensive. So like if we got hats done, it would literally be like, here's a hat for whatever this price is. That's cost. We're not making money on it. And we really needed to just like focus on a few things instead of trying to do everything at once. But I said to like Loden, like, let's do that Compton We're doing the Northern Crown with the Old English. They're like, let's do the Compton logo, but just Crown. And the hat looked so good. It had the red logo on the side. We're gonna release it one day. But even like, the shirts, he killed it, man. Like the sweaters, that was all loaded, man. He's so smart. He's so good. But even with like the concept of our marketing and stuff, like I just told him, I was like, my idea is like when Kanye was recently releasing the Good Friday stuff, that's kind of what I want to do. That gorilla black and white with a little hint of color, and Loden just took the ball and fucking slam dunk.
Wow, you got everything inside your head. Eh? He figured out all the cogs that were turning, and he put it all to. Well, shout out to Loden, man, because he absolutely did kill it. He made the promotion stand out so hard, and I'm looking forward to. Now, talk to me about ticket sales. Do we still have tickets available? Okay, because this is going to drop like next week, so it's going to be 2 weeks out from the show when this drops. So,
cool.
Tickets are still available. I want to help promote as much as I can. So, how are we doing on ticket sales? Do we have a lot available? A little bit available? Like, I'm not asking you to give me numbers, but do we have enough?
Yeah. So the original venue that we had a very, very strict fire code, and it wasn't a lot. So we were super concerned about ticket sales that, with the scene, the wrestlers come, they bring their girlfriends, you got a ring crew, you got guys that just want to support, and that fills up quick. So we were like really worried that our capacity, like our actual fire code, was gonna go way over if we sold a certain amount of tickets plus all the people that want to come and help. You got camera crew, you got ring announcer, all these people that you don't consider when you start looking at fire code. Unfortunately, we blessing in disguise, I guess, based on that, but we lost the venue. It's under renovation. They had to do emergency renos, and we lost it. So we moved to another venue. It's got a bit of a bigger capacity, so we can sell more tickets if we need to sell more tickets. It's not like the thing where it's like before it was like, oh, this is a hard cutoff, and if we sell out, shit. Now it's, we're still selling tickets really, really well. We're really, really excited that people are wanting to come, but we do have tickets available. We now can have tickets at the door, which is exciting as well. I think front row's near sold out. Like, so boom. Yeah.
Tickets right here.
Yeah. When we first announced the tickets were for sale, they were flying, and we were so happy. And literally like 2 hours later, I got the phone call that we lost the venue. And we were just like, what do we do? So we stopped promoting the show aggressively like we were, because we didn't have a venue. And we were like, what do we do? Do we stop ticket sales immediately and then look for a venue? How long will it take us to look for a venue? So we just kind of like slowed down on the promoting side. And then once we got the venue, we were like, okay, we're good to go again. But yeah, so like we kind of just hit the brakes a little bit, but we're back up and running. People are buying tickets. We're really excited. Like I said, there's a lot going on. Impact's in London for their TV tapings, not the pay-per-view, the TV tapings. You got Death Proof, which, we worked it out so everyone can go. But like we are getting messages from certain indie wrestling faithfuls that are like, oh, I'd love to come to your show, but I got tickets to that already. I got tickets to that. So, we get it. It's part of the game. And if people can come to our show and they want to support us, we're there for you, and we want you there. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that's the best way to end this, is the fact that you say you want you to come and we're there for you. So I'm going to wrap it up. But Geoffery Cole, thank you so much for the time, man. I appreciate you and all that good stuff. Are you taking a picture of me? I don't know if you were taking it. I just post. There's my post. Look, Jeff, I got my post down. See?
Don't do that. That's stupid.
Okay. All right. Well, I think the ever genuine Geoffery Cole, I appreciate you. Northern Crown is going to be a banger. I feel it in my bones. It's going to be something special and legendary, and I'm so excited to be there for show one. I can't wait to be front row and heckle the ones I love to heckle and cheer for the ones I love to cheer, like my boy Flairza, who I know now is officially in the main event. Rocky Ramero. Yes. It's going to be huge. Tickets on sale. I'm going to make sure to put all the information for tickets in the bio of this episode when it drops. I'm going to share it everywhere. Guys, don't forget Northern Crown. This upcoming May 27th, it hits different and it hits special, and it's going to be incredible. Geoffery Cole, Shane Saber, all that good stuff. Loaded, killing it on the promotion. You guys don't want to miss this show. It's going to be absolutely epic. Peace, love, and wrestling. See you next time. Peace.
Yo. We just people from the north side. Want some Timmy's at the shore fine. Winter ready on the full ties. Heavy traffic during 4-5. Gotta hustle on your own time. Color people every port side. We just people from the north side. Want some Timmy's at the shore fine. Winter ready on the full ties. Heavy traffic during 4-5.